Just for once, my opening monologue is not about Speedway. I just want to take the opportunity to big up the city I was born in and which I continue to reside, Birmingham. I feared for us in the Commonwealth Games, but I was wrong to. The city, the West Midlands, did the country proud, and what a way to finish. So, forgive me for saying, only in Brum.
Perfectly perfect.
I do my best. And what a way to finish with Black Sabbath singing Paranoid of all songs.
Yeah.
Brilliant. But I guess we need to talk about Speedway.
Do we have to?
Right, so. What was the score for Wolves against Peterborough?
62-28 against Peterborough last night. And of those 28 points, Chris Harris got 17. So,
yeah,
really thankfully Bomber was there, because it would have been.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to him riding against us tomorrow.
He's in great form at the moment, though, isn't he?
Isn't he?
I mean, he's been getting 17s, 18s, 19s in the last few weeks of the season. I think
possibly should be the British champion.
Yeah, so I was going to say possibly, taking out a bit of frustration in the fact that he possibly feels that he should be going to Cardiff. I mean, obviously, I think he will be at Cardiff anyway, because I think he's, with it being the 20th anniversary, they're bringing a few of the previous winners back, and of course, he's probably still the most iconic Cardiff win of the lot.
Absolutely.
But I'm sure he'd rather be taking his bikes with him on Saturday than going there in a suit and being waving to the crowd.
Absolutely. Hey-ho. Would you like to let everybody know how they can take part?
Okay, so on Facebook, just search for UK Speedway Tavern. You can find us on all the great, brilliant groups and pages associated with Speedway. If YouTube's your bag, you can find us on YouTube. Again, just search for UK Speedway Tavern. The show is available as a podcast from Wednesday afternoon, around about midday, and you can find that on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and a lot of other good podcast platforms.
Duncan Pemberton said everyone got a sweat on except Prince Andrew. Duncan Pemberton said. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah. For the Tower of London, I think.
We've got a few. Let's just hunt through some of the ones that we've got.
Okay. So Elliot, Duncan, Jeffson, and Elliot's got a comment there. If you want to read it while I'm just doing it.
It's gone. Stop. There we go. It was a terrific win for Wolves last night. We beat Peterborough easily. The whole team was on super form. Peterborough seemed to struggle. Only Chris Harris was impressive for them and got 61% of the whole point score. Somebody's got a calculator. Hope we can keep this form into our meetings at the end of August. We might touch on those.
Yeah, just to say about last night's meeting, after the 4-5-1 in a row after Heat 4, I was thinking, this is going to be a pretty long night. It's going to be a pretty nondescript meeting, but there was actually some pretty good racing last night. Chris Harris in particular always provides good value for money. But just a look down the Peterborough scorecard, I mean, Bomber got 17, Hans Andersen 6, Benjamin Basso 1, Jordan Jenkins 1 and 1, Brock Nickel 2, Jake Mulford 1. I mean, that tells its own story, really. Really, I think Peterborough. I got the distinct impression, really, that Peterborough just, to an extent, waved the white flag before the taps went up on Heat 1. To be honest, I mean, they've obviously it's been a disastrous season for the Panthers. A year after that, fantastic league championship win that they won last year.
They've sort of got a bigger battle coming up as well, haven't they?
They have indeed, yeah. And obviously, we all push Peterborough well in the battle to try and save Speedway in the city. So,
absolutely. I mean, we should touch on the fact that, and we will talk about this a bit later, but there was some good news for Birmingham last week.
There was indeed, yeah.
My God, we need some good news.
Yes.
So we're continuing in 2023 with hints of signings to come.
Yep.
I've heard a few rumours, none of which I'm at liberty to say, but if half...
Turn the microphone down, Chris.
Yeah, if half the rumours I've heard come true, it's not going to be a bad team at all. But
Phew, I thought you were about the other rumour. It's all fabricated.
Rather Smarslick after that build-up, so.
rumours in Speedway are 10 a penny, aren't they? So
Yeah, well, it's key though, isn't it, for the club, because the last couple of years they've sort of lived a hand-to-mouth existence really, haven't they? Getting to the end of the season, then will they or won't they run? But I think the fact that they've gone and done it quite early as well, it's still.
given what happened last year, yeah.
That's right. They've declared early, so the supporters are going to go away from the last match of the season at Perryby, knowing that whatever else happens, they're going to be back at the tapes again in 2023. But I would argue it's probably next year is probably going to be the most important season for the club, certainly since they went back in the second tier in 2019. Arguably since the reopening in 2007, because they have to get the team right next year.
You have to get the team right, and they have to get the word out.
Yeah.
And we have to get, as supporters, we have to get the word out as well. Still meeting people that go, oh, I thought Speedway was finished.
Yeah.
In this city. I want to hit them over the head.
No, don't do that. For heaven's sake. By the way, we have got a meeting going on tonight down on the south coast. It's currently Plymouth 24, Berwick 30 in the NDL.
Okie dokie.
So we'll keep an eye on that one as the show goes on.
Dylan Spuddy Hodgetts. Evening chaps, a couple of thumpings in the Premier last night. Didn't expect Ipswich to go down by 30 though. Bomber was class last night. Interesting to see Basso's Instagram after the meeting stating he hates the track. Peterborough were just being out-trapped last night. Buzzing for Leon, continuing his fine form and getting a few paid wins at Monmore.
Yeah, he's going well at the moment, Leon Flint. He's really starting to finally get to grips with the Monmore track.
Yeah,
that's only going to help his progress as a rider.
He's coming on, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Love to see him riding for us next year. Of course, we won't, because he'll ride for Berwick, obviously, if he does championship. His hometown. Okay, we've got a few more. Congratulations, Scott Nichols, on the birth of his second baby girl.
Congratulations, Scott.
Well
I
done.
would assume that's why he
Did I really say well done?
Well done.
I have to apologise.
I would assume that's why he wasn't at Mumma Green last night.
And well done.
Did anyone predict that result last night at Bellevue? Did anybody predict that result last night at Bellevue?
I think a couple of people went for a big home win. I don't know whether they went by that big, but
Doyle had an uncharacteristically bad night last night, 2 engine failures and beaten up in some of his other races in the first bend. He also apparently got some abuse from a section of the grandstand, don't want to call them fans, and he reacted quite badly by all accounts, throwing a bin at said supporter.
Oh, crikey.
Okay. Followed by the words "get in the bin," I imagine. There's been plenty.
Where you been?
oh dear.
Sorry.
There's been plenty of banter at Bellevue fan page about it, saying the said fan deserved it and needs to grow up. Could Doyle be the new pantomime villain in Speedway, replacing Pedersen?
Well,
No.
we don't want it to go that far, but Speedway does need his pantomime villain, doesn't it?
Doyle isn't it, though?
Yeah.
He's too nice a guy.
I mean, it's interesting, as I say, because a lot of people used to whinge and complain about Nicky Pedersen when he was in the Grand Prix, but boy, the Grand Prix doesn't half miss him. He doesn't really. I mean, I know Freddie Lindgren's sort of taken on the mantle of the hard rider, but I don't think to the extent that that Nicky did. To be honest.
I mean, let's be honest. This year's Grand Prix has missed its reigning champion.
Yeah, I think it always was on a bit of a back foot, wasn't it? So much hype and build up going into it with the new backers and the money that's been put into it, and returning to Cardiff, of course, as we are doing this weekend, and then, of course, the world champion. I suppose I don't really want to get into a political debate, but it was probably the one decision they had to make was to not allow Artem Glitter and Emil Seifert enough to race in this year's GP for obvious reasons. So
Yeah.
shame for them, because it's not their fault.
And the way things are going, will they be riding there next year? Who knows? Okay, I'm going to try and get through this one. Not sure Matt's thoughts on this, but I thought the tactical sub was played at a very strange time too. Why put it with Nicol as RR rather than putting Jenkins as RR and using Bomber against Nick and Drew partnering hands a heat later? A heat later than they played it. That decision baffled me, to be honest.
Did surprise me a little bit, to be honest, but I just think Peterborough, I got the impression Peterborough probably just wanted to get through the match and just get away, to be honest, because right from the start, as I say, 4-5-1s in the first four heats set the tone. There was no way back for Peterborough after that. They're always playing catch up, unfortunately, and it's just been such a, after the highs of last year, it's been a disaster for the Panthers, isn't it?
I mean, you said before you think it's the Aces to lose.
Yeah.
Really, because I mean, Ipswich obviously have had to make some changes because of injury problems.
Good changes, to be fair. I think.
But they don't ride Bellevue very great, obviously. We shall see. Because Jeff Daniels is saying Ace's home form is phenomenal. New comments 14. There you go.
Sorry.
Ace's home form is phenomenal at the moment. Another 60-plus score against top of league Ipswich Aces. Last 4 home 60-plus, and it's been 60 heats without a heat advantage for opponents.
I was talking about this with my dad last night because, contrary to what a lot of people in Speedway say, I mean, people in Speedway say Bellevue don't have a home advantage. They do have a home advantage. To be fair, I think they've dialed into the track really well. Obviously, Wolves are there in a couple of weeks' time, so that's going to be.
You've had some success at
Bellevue,
haven't you?
We obviously we won there in the earlier in the season, of course, in the Shield
when they didn't have the team that they got.
Yeah,
now.
of course we did ride well there, of course, when they had the full team, but in Bellevue in the end just had too much for us. I think we lost by 12 that night, but it was a good Wolves performance. But obviously this time we'll be going without Sam Masters. Whether we'll replace him, depending on how long he's going to be out for, we shall wait and see.
Yeah, I'm just checking on something because Elliot's put the heat that the. Okay, so I think you're wrong with your lineup there, Elliot. The lineup that I've got is that, but for Birmingham's match tomorrow is Kai Thompson at number 1, Stefan Nielsen rider replacement, Paul Stark at 3, Paco Castagna at 4, Justin Sedgman at 5. Lee Complin at 6 and James Pearson at 7. You put Connor Coles at 6. I don't think that's right unless something's happened that I don't know about.
Well, we don't know, do you? You know the way things are going with the guests this year. So
yeah, perhaps I should press refresh and see if it's changed.
But it's been a nightmare really for Lawrence Rogers, isn't he? Because he seems to have been the last few weeks permanently on the phone booking guest riders.
Yeah. I mean, it's
the guest rules never. I mean, the guest rule. I mean, we'll probably get onto this a bit later. Yeah, but the guest rule is certainly one thing in Speed that I think a lot of fans it just does people's head in.
I know, but how do you replace it?
The only other way you do it is squad systems, isn't it?
And there isn't enough riders to go around as it is.
The problem, so.
Yeah. Aren't there any up and coming young riders that can
loads? You can't throw an up and coming young rider in for your number 1.
The only way you can do it is if you just move everybody up a place in the team. So,
but you're losing out. People aren't going to come and watch it, are they? That's the problem.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of people who like to see some up and coming riders.
Oh, they do like to see one.
They do like to, but preferably riding for the other team.
Yeah.
Apparently, this is Jeff Daniels. Apparently, after Heat 15 last night, Doyle, after being 5-1'd, threw a waste bin at a drunken so-called fan in the grandstand who was evicted from the stadium. It's the same everywhere. The amount of people that see me wearing my Bellevue T-shirt, that comment saying, I didn't know Bellevue was still going, winds me up. Wow. Clubs really need to promote the sport better.
That's astonishing. I mean, the number of times I've been up to Bellevue, even when they were still at the Ground Stadium next door, there's, up until you get to the stadium, there's absolutely no advertising for Bellevue at all, which is astonishing. I mean, this is, probably the most iconic Speedway club in the country, with probably the best known. So,
yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it? But we know part of the reason is because football is king. That football takes all the headlines. Trying to get Speedway on.
It certainly does in Manchester anyway. So.
Well, yeah, it does in this country. In this country of Birmingham.
Yeah.
I mean, is there a town where Speedway is? I suppose there isn't. Is there? Isn't
Well, there is.
Is there? Where it's
there
more
is.
prominent than anywhere else.
There is Cradley, and they haven't got one.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's true, isn't it?
Yeah. You'd probably argue Poole to a point as well. Of course, obviously, Bournemouth have done well in recent years in the Premier League. So.
Berwick have a full team except Joe Thompson at 6. Going to be a tricky one for the Brummies. Hope we can win. And it's gone. And we can win to finish the league season off nicely. Are you all right, Chris?
Yeah, I think it was quicker than that.
I mean, we'll possibly come on to that a bit later. It's the end of the season for Birmingham anyway.
To all intents and purposes, it is. I mean, obviously, even with the result tomorrow, it's unfortunately the wooden spoon is Birmingham's again. As I say earlier, that obviously needs, now that the club know they're running next year, that needs to change.
Could we do a reverse Peterborough? Yeah. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Well, after the 4th 5-1 last night, my dad actually turned to me and said, I think Birmingham could beat these.
Yeah.
So I'd like him to mock the opposition like that. So.
It depends on the guests for us at the moment, doesn't it? Duncan Pemberton, you can get in the bin. He says, must have called Doyle rubbish.
I hadn't seen that, to be honest, but that's obviously, don't want to see things like that. But
no, you don't.
But I don't, nothing wrong with a bit of needle and
nothing wrong with a bit of passion,
winding people up, but don't let it go too far.
Dylan says he was gutted Leon was used as RR2. It shows the faith they had in him to use him, but had he not had that, he'd have made a comfortable 4-ride paid max, his first for Wolves, which would have been nice.
It would have been, yeah.
Considering what he was like at the beginning of the season, he struggled quite a bit, didn't he?
Yeah, good.
Connor Coles is guesting for Stoneman at 7 for Berwick. So
right.
That's where that's come up. And Lee Complain at 6 for Brummies, according to Elliot. And
he's done well, hasn't he, in the couple of matches that
he has, hasn't he?
So far,
yeah.
So.
A possible signing for next year at reserve, maybe. After next week, with it being a challenge meeting, can choose our own lineup, so it can be a lot stronger. Well, we're going to have to be a lot stronger. We've got 2 cracking meetings coming up at Birmingham.
2 local derbies, of course.
Yeah. So, if there are any Cradley fans out there and any Coventry fans out there, come and support your team. Whatever it looks like, it probably look better than ours.
Certainly for the Coventry one, I think it probably needs to be resemble a team of riders that have ridden Coventry. I mean, Coventry obviously.
Well, there are plenty of them.
Plenty of them, yeah. I mean, Coventry obviously forced it in the fact that there's Cradley have been gone a lot longer than Coventry. If you're talking about the Dudley Wood years, so
you've got, Bomber.
Yep,
would be a good one for Coventry or Birmingham if it comes to that.
I believe that Andy Graham is going to be getting back on a bike at Peribor in a few weeks, isn't it?
It doesn't surprise me to hear that. I wondered whether he would.
Yeah,
that'll be cool. That'll be really good.
In what capacity? What is that like?
I imagine doing some laps of the track. I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be obviously obviously an emotional for him, of course, but
it's going to be emotional for a lot of people.
Isn't he more Cradley than Brummy or
Alan? You're thinking of Alan.
Oh right, okay.
But, I mean, he rode for both teams, which is why we're having a Birmingham versus the 2 teams that he's most known for were Birmingham, where he started.
Yeah. Cradley was obviously where he had his best days. I think he was probably happier at Cradley, wasn't he? I mean, I suppose the fact that they had all success there as well.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I think he just had this big falling out with Joe Thurley, didn't he? So
yeah.
Ipswich looked very weak after changes. Poor reserves. Summers, Hume, Stark in the 1 to 5. If Doyle has a bad one like last night, they struggle. King and Batchelor can't seem to do it.
I've always said with Danny King, I mean, I'm a big fan of Danny King as a rider and as a person. I mean, obviously you'll know Danny from when he was at Birmingham, but at the start of every season you always look at him and you think he's on a really good value of an average, but it never seems to change, does it? And really that seems to be because he has 4 good rides in the meeting, but one bad one. And he never seems to be able to sort of escape that sort of cycle, does he?
No, and it was a little bit like that at Birmingham as well.
Yeah.
And I think he had his best.
His best
Yes.
days probably were with
We're at
Birmingham.
Birmingham, but
Yeah, so.
Spuddy says Doyle is a fairly laid-back guy, to be honest. He wouldn't have reacted like that without reason, so that fan must have deserved it. However, with how the sport is done, Doyle will get in more trouble for reacting than the div shouting. Not sure he will. Not for just throwing a bin.
No.
I think stuff happens, doesn't it?
Yeah, Steve Morgan says that Berwick Speedway is the big thing in Berwick. I don't suppose there's anything else in Berwick, is there?
Well, there's Berwick Rangers, of course, isn't
Berwick
there?
Rangers, yeah.
Of course, yeah.
But I mean, to be fair, Berwick, I think, are a really good example for Birmingham. I think because they've, up until a few years ago, I mean, they were a club that always seemed to be sort of living,
hand to mouth.
hand to mouth. But in the last few years, they've become a very, very well-run speedway club. They do a lot of stuff in the community. They don't spend stupid money, but they spend decent money. They always have a team that's it's exciting to watch and competitive. So yeah, that's a good lesson, I think, for Birmingham and maybe one or two other clubs that are struggling. That if you can sort of hang in there and turn it round and promote to your local area, then
we need to promote now. This close season needs to be all about good news about the riders that we're signing. That the fact that we're looking good for honours because and all that sort of story.
yeah.
And we need to play our part as fans as well. We need to be getting on Facebook and talking about it and all the other.
Not going on
things.
the base and saying, "Oh, it's rubbish."
Do you know what? I don't know how relevant the BSF is anymore.
I don't think it is anymore. It's
I
still,
I very rarely look at it.
yeah,
Very rarely look at it because it's just full of whining and moaning anyway.
yeah.
I don't know how relative it is. Would you, if you were starting as a new fan, is that the first place you would go to?
You wouldn't even know it existed, would you?
Exactly.
Really?
So-
Yeah, it'd probably put you off, actually.
It probably would actually.
Yeah.
This is Craig's mate. I've said before, most Speedway clubs are in areas where a football team plays locally. Could Speedway not be promoted in the football programmes? Surely that's a cheaper alternative. I'm not sure how cheap it would be. I mean, in Birmingham's case, they've just recently done a tie-up with the Solihull Moors football team. Solihull is quite a way away from Birmingham, to be fair, but even so. And so they've had the Solihull Moors down at Birmingham, and they've had some riders and a bike and stuff at the Solihull Moors promoting the different events. So more of that would, I mean, Aston Villa's just down the road.
Exactly.
It should, but
Well,
we've done stuff at Birmingham City.
Well, the strange thing is as
Never
well
done.
is, of course, Rob Bishop is involved at Villa. I mean, Rob Bishop, before he was working for Villa, was with the Evening Mail, and he was their regular Speedway reporter.
He
so
was, yeah.
I mean, my dad knows Rob quite well. I don't know whether he's been down to Perry Bar for quite a few years. He may, I know he's
But
still
I
about,
don't
so-
know. I mean, you'll know better than me. I don't know that the average football supporter's going to look at an advert in the programme anyway. And I mean, we had Christoph Kasperzak. That was a good signing.
Yeah.
We had Christoph Kasperzak sign as our number one on the centre. On the not the centre green, is it on the pitch?
On the
Yeah,
pitch,
yeah,
there you go.
remember,
Centre
yeah,
circle,
yeah,
yeah,
remember.
so-
At
Pretty-
Birmingham.
Pretty good, that was, yeah.
So it didn't make an awful lot of difference, I don't think. But however, all ideas welcome, but it needs to be a concentrated, coordinated
Yeah,
effort so people don't miss it, basically.
absolutely.
Duncan Pemberton says, in my day, 70s growing up in Leicester, the buses had a placard in the windows advertising the forthcoming match at Blackbird Road. Wouldn't cost a fortune to get promotional teams to contact transport advertising teams in modern day Speedway, would it?
Do you know there's not that much advertising in Wolverhampton? Thinking about it, I mean, when you come in, when you're going towards the city, and you
don't
sort
really
of
need it.
turn down towards Hickman Avenue. There's a tiny little sign there saying Speedo Racing tonight, but I mean, it's easy to miss.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, I mean, the problem for Birmingham is it's such a big city. Where do you start?
Yeah.
We've just gone past a few.
I know, it seems to be there's quite a lot of Brummies oriented posts, so I was just moving on.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about the under-21 final a bit closer to the event. We'll definitely talk about that. Dylan Spuddy Hodgetts touching on Ben Barker. The powers that be are taking their sweet time with his results. If he's found to be clear, I'd be getting onto them for 2 weeks' wages for loss of earnings due to them if I were him. I mean, can't make a lot of comment on that. However, I don't think he would be able to claim back because it's within the rules that if you test positive at a place, then you're automatically suspended until the actual results.
Probably best to steer away from that at the moment, really, until we've got full details.
So, we just don't know, do we?
Yeah.
Brock surprised me last night. I think it proved the Wolves management were justified in not having him back this season. Never looked in contention.
I'd agree with that, Dylan, to be fair, because I was really excited when Wolves signed him we signed him at the end of 2019 to arrive for us in 2020, of course, and it never happened. And he started really well in 2021, but never really seemed to kick on from that. And he ended the season poorly. I think a lot of it. I mean, I was expecting big things because of the fact that he was going to be with Luke Becker. Obviously 2 Americans, both really great lads. I mean, I can remember Brock Nickel riding as a guest for Birmingham 2 or 3 years ago, and I think was the match winner in the meeting. It was really, really impressive. It's a shame. Just never really kicked on, unfortunately.
It happens, doesn't it? It's surprising how many riders that happen to. You think about Jack Parkinson, Blackburn. Never happened for him. Everybody thought he was going to be the next big thing. Zach Vitanek.
Well, I think with Zach there were other things going on.
Otherwise, I mean, absolutely. I'm not going to read all of that from Jeff, but he's done a whole thing about the rides that Doyle did and why he might have been frustrated, but finished off so the last thing Doyle needed was abuse from a drunken person. He deserved to be evicted, in my opinion. Okay, the drunken person.
It's pretty far and few between, isn't it? It doesn't happen a lot, surely.
No.
Not with supporters and things.
Not really, no.
Not really. Not in Speedway. It's not football after all.
No.
Unless it's Wolves karate, of course. But,
it's definitely not cricket.
Also, shout out to the couple of fans behind me at Monmouth last night who let out a big cheer when Max Parry fell off in the second half at Wolves last night. Pair of clowns.
Don't understand that.
No.
I don't understand why you do that. Sometimes if it's in a big meeting and your team needs a result and one of the opposition riders fall off, the initial reaction is to cheer. But of course, you at the same time we think, well, hope he's all right and hope he gets up. So.
Yeah, I don't think that was ever going to happen, Dave. You would have thought with that Commonwealth Games closing programme on TV, they would have mentioned what sports have took place in the Alexander Stadium. Oh, it was on the BBC. To be fair, the only sports that have taken place in that Alexander Stadium is athletics. Where Birmingham is now is where the Alexander Stadium used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a lot of people, I know this from talking about that, a lot of people seem to think that Birmingham Speedway has been staged in that stadium. It hasn't been.
It's never been staged in that stadium.
It was over the road though, wasn't it? Where the car park used to be?
On the one stop.
Yeah, the one stop. We used to be there, but that's not. That's
no, but that's not.
That's not.
No, that's not Alexander Stadium.
Was so disappointed last night at Wolves youngsters waiting for riders to sign autographs with pen and photos ready, only to see the riders go back to the pits in truck. So many little sad faces, aren't they? Future supporters.
No, I hadn't seen that.
Okay. Well, yeah, that is sad.
Yeah.
So I think we have caught up.
We have caught up. Yeah,
it only took us half an hour.
Yeah, it is a shame. When I think when people do that, to be honest, it doesn't take long just to go and sign an autograph or.
No. I think Speedway's well known.
I know there's a story from a few years ago of a Premier League footballer who saw some kids waiting for autographs and he put his phone by his ear and pretended he was on his phone, and as he was walking past it started to ring.
Yeah.
Karma is beautiful.
Yes, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, that is a shame because I feel like it's Speedway is pretty well known for that sort of thing, really, participating and involving fans. Now, I remember when I took my daughter and her friend there to the first one. I took her into the pit and she said, "Be allowed in here."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if you're good.
It's one of the good things about Speedway. Talking of which,
Yes.
we have on occasions asked you to put things to right and by what rules would you like to change, what would you like to see different about Speedway. I'm going to do it a bit different tonight. What is it that you really like about Speedway? What are we getting right?
So it's going to go very, very quiet now. I can tell you that now. Because is there anything?
Well, I'll start off with how friendly the riders are.
Yeah.
And how accessible they are, and you can just go have a chat with them.
Yeah.
I love that about Speedways. I believe it's the same in rugby as well. Spuddy says they came out. This is talking about the signing of photos and so on. They came out during the interval, and I noticed Steve and Nick were bombarded for selfies during the collection. During that, I think they had to really because of the second half races.
Possibly, yeah. Yeah. I mean, what I've liked about Speedway in recent years is the way that after a bit of cajoling, they've sort of started to embrace social media. Because I think for a long time they thought social media was the enemy, didn't they? But I think they've realised now that you can actually use it as quite a powerful promoting tool. So
Absolutely.
I think we probably talked about this, 8 years ago?
Yeah.
Easily. Yeah. Easily. Yeah. Good God, we've been around that long.
I know, yeah. Well, yeah, that's right.
We might get good at this one day.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Well, me and
not
Matt
that long.
might. Me and Matt are almost there.
Yeah. You just took my line then. Hey ho. Shall we have a look
at the championship pairs? Should we look? Well, we've got the championship. We've got a big weekend, of course. Championship pairs, Cardiff.
And Cardiff,
Yep.
yeah.
Cardiff is GP2 as well, so...
I don't think Birmingham's going to win the championship pair.
Well, let's have a look at the lineups then for Friday. The championship pairs at Oxford. We've got Group A. You've got Nick Morris and Richie Worrell. For Edinburgh, you've got Kai Thompson, Josh Pickering. Glasgow have got Daniel Hume and Benjamin Basso. Scunthorpe have got Ryan Douglas and Simon Lambert. And Birmingham have got Justin Sedgman and James Pearson.
Well, first of all, the Birmingham team picks itself, doesn't it? Because
they're
they're the only two riders we've got left.
I think you've got to fancy Leicester, I think, for that. Looking at that.
I think Edinburgh have possibly got a good chance as well.
I think if Sam Masters has been fit, then yeah, definitely. But obviously, Kai Thompson in as a replacement. Josh Pickering, of course, is a fabulous rider to watch, as obviously you've seen it.
Well, I'm just calling it now that Edinburgh is Birmingham.
Yeah,
because those are the two guests we've been using all the time.
well, that's it. Yeah, and Group B, you've got Poole. They'll be represented by Steve Worrell and Danny King. Plymouth have got Hans Hansen, and their second rider is to be confirmed. It is down here as being Ben Barker, but I don't think that's going to happen. Berwick, of course, have still got to confirm a rider. They've got Chris Harris, and second rider, of course, is to be confirmed. Scott Nichols and Aaron Summers will represent Oxford, and Charles Wright and Lewis Kerr for Redcar. And that's the championship pairs. Friday, 12th of August, 7:30pm down at Oxford.
So, are we going to choose an overall winner? Or should we do that during our predictions?
Yes, we can do.
Yeah,
I haven't put the pairs down as one of our fixtures, but
we can put it in.
Okay, I think I've probably got you up. Okay.
Spuddy says, I think they got the wild card for the GP right, but that's a debate that will linger on for months. Plenty of people definitely don't agree with you on that. I'm not sure. Craig Smith says, I find most Speedway riders are daily down to earth and stop for a photo and sign autographs. I've even seen Chris Harris at Sheffield having selfies with people and signing autographs and then having to rush off for the riders' walkout and parade. Yeah, I've seen him do that as well. Yeah,
Bomber's very approachable, to be fair. He's,
Simon Corbett says they got the National Speedway Stadium right. I don't know, Craig, is the championship pairs being shown on the BSN?
I don't know whether it is, actually. I know the Premiership pairs are being shown on, but...
my guess is it won't be, because they want people to go and watch it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which I think is fair.
Yes, Ellis just said it's been streamed on BSN.
Oh, okay.
So Curtis Sport doing the programme for £5 and doing the he'll be doing the speedy updates from the PC side.
Okay, brilliant. I shall have
stuff.
to check that out. It's actually...
So we're going to... Yep, okay.
Yeah, GP. Should we have a look at the GP?
Why not? Unfortunately, I have been looking for the odds, but unfortunately I can't find them, so I'll have to make do without that. But I'm really looking forward to getting back there for the first time in 3 years.
3 years, wow.
Yep. And, see how things go. Of course, it's obviously the return. I mean, Barton Smolzik has obviously got a reasonably healthy lead. He certainly hasn't had it all his own way. He's only won.
No,
you know, I mean,
it's not his sort of track, is it?
Well, he has. Has he won there? I don't think he has won there.
He
No,
has, no. I
don't think
he
he won there in the last one was 2019. I'm sure Leon Manson won the last one, if memory serves me right.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, it's Plymouth 29, Berwick 31 now. So Plymouth have pulled it back to just 2 points on the NDL League leaders.
Good meeting.
Yep. But really looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting down there. Cardiff's a fantastic city, really modern city. Loads to do there. You can. It's one of those places really where you've got the stadium there, and it's on the doorstep of places where you can go and have a meal. You can go and have a drink.
Right.
You've got the castle if you want to, obviously do a bit of touristing
For a price, I
there,
believe.
So, yeah,
they do put the prices up a bit down.
well, I suppose they've got to take advantage of it. You've got the fan zone as well, of course, and of course it's obviously been built to the 20th anniversary, although it's obviously 2 years later. So you'll have previous winners there. You'll have the likes of Tony Rickardsson will be there, Jason Crump I'm sure will be there, Nicky Pedersen, I'm sure he'll get a good reception. Bobber, of course, Chris Holder I'm sure will be there. Chris Holder's won it a couple of times as well, so yeah, it should be a good night, and hopefully the track will hold up. It's the Cardiff tracks has often come in for a bit of criticism.
The last few times it's been pretty good, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think I would say probably 10 years ago, the track there was probably bordering on dangerous. And I think I don't think the riders like riding there, but I think they sort of put up with it for the sake of the whole atmosphere surrounding it, because it was pretty. I know you've got Warsaw now and other places. I mean, Warsaw's obviously a fantastic stadium, but I think Cardiff for me is really now is British Speedway's big day out. You get people there. I mean, I've seen people at Cardiff that you only see once a year. You can then at the end of the meeting you go your separate ways, and you will meet them again the following year. So it's and it's going to be a hot day as well. So
it attracts a big crowd as well, doesn't it? It still attracts a big crowd.
Yeah, it does.
That's brilliant.
It really does.
Okay. There we go.
Okay, so did you see Bartek's ride from over the weekend all over social media? That kid has to be on 600cc bikes.
I've heard about it, but I'm not seeing it. I need to have a look at it.
What have you heard? Tell me about it. In fact, can you put it up on the shout box?
Yeah.
We might have a look at that. Tell me what you heard.
It was pretty spectacular. That's what I've heard. Okay. So I need to watch it. Really. Okay. So.
Fantastic weather for anyone making the trip down to Cardiff this year. Missing it this year as so near to my holiday away, but it's a great city and expecting a great meeting. Hopefully we can get a Brit winner.
It'd be great to get a British winner.
Can we get a Brit winner?
Could do.
As Ty Woffington seems to have, in recent weeks, got his form back, certainly for riding in league meetings. Could he do it? There's no pressure on him as such.
Well, he's running out of time, isn't he now? Really, if he's gonna do it. Dan Bewley. I mean, I looked at some of the posts last night when I put the predictions up, and Dan Bewley seems to be getting quite a lot of people saying certainly top three. He had a fantastic time last time out in Gorzoff.
Yes. Yeah.
That'll give him confidence. Robert Lambert as well. Obviously he's experienced Cardiff already, so a couple of times. So it would be fantastic if we could get a British winner. No, it's long overdue.
Plug for the plug's gone. Plug for Greg Hancock evening at the Cleveland Arms on Thursday night. He'll be joined on stage by Luke Becker too. Will be a very interesting night with a legend and one of the most exciting prospects in the sport. There you go. There was a question to you, Matt, a little bit.
I'll go back to it.
Yeah.
It's just a bit further up.
Just amuse yourselves for a minute while we...
1, 2, 3.
Oh, that's it, yeah.
Okay. Spuddy says, I don't know if Matt has the same feeling, but for me, it's still damn strange seeing Steve Worrell in Wolves Kevlars. Although he looks at home at Wolves now, I'll definitely have him back next season.
I think Steve Worrell needed the move, to be honest, because I think the last 2 or 3 seasons at Bellevue, he'd gone a little bit stale. I think moving to a different track, different surroundings, totally different track to the National Speedway Stadium has done him good, and he's had a good season this year, and he's really formed a very, very strong opening pairing with Sam Masters. So yeah, he's but I mean, yeah, he's been superb this season. I think started off a little bit slowly, but I think that was because he was obviously riding at number 5 the first few matches, and I think moving him to number 2, I think, has really been a big move.
Right, come on then. Put your money where your mouth is. Who's going to win the GP?
Well, should we go through it as part of the predictions? Because I've done it so that people do the 1, 2, 3. So
okay.
So
yeah, okay. I'm up for that.
Yep.
Want to have a quick look at the tables first?
No.
Okay, so
it's still quite close, obviously.
I've stagnated in 17th place, and that's it.
I've really slipped down. I'm 9th now, so
I'm only 7th, so it's
but you're the top presenter.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a home. It's going to be a home win. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
It's, but as I say, I mean,
I think I'm going to get a guest.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah. It can all change, though. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, Dave Twine was down in 10th, and he's now, because of picking Australia to win the Speedway Nations, he's now into the top 3. So
I picked Australia to win the Speedway Nations. I'm still not in the top 3.
And he's only 5 points behind the leader, Simon Corbett, he's maintained that position for so long now.
There was some challenge earlier, but it's still not a lot in it, is it? It can still change.
No.
Okay.
Well, it's interesting to see how it goes, because I think Simon and Ben have gone for different scores at Plymouth tonight. It is very, very close there. Right. So, come on, guys. There's a lot more riding on it than league points. There's Nigel Pearson table riding on it as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right. So, shall we go through then?
Starting off then, Poole against Plymouth in the Championship tomorrow.
And I do believe it's your turn.
I've gone for Poole by 16 on this one.
Poole versus Plymouth, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it's up to me, isn't it? I'll go Poole by 10.
Poole by 18.
Yeah, Plymouth seem to have gone off the ball a little bit, don't they? I think they would have fancied their chances there a few weeks ago, but not so sure now. Okay, next up in the NDL is Oxford against the Bellevue Colts.
It's up to you, Chris.
I'll go Bellevue by 6.
Go Oxford by 4.
I've gone Oxford by 10.
I love this, by the way. We've got a slight difference of opinion here on the Poole match. We've got Simon Corbett says it's going to be Poole by 24, and if you go above him, I can't remember who it was, said it'll be Poole by 4.
Yeah.
So there's a big... Yeah, okay.
Next up, of course, is the match that me and you'll be at tomorrow, Birmingham against Berwick.
I think that's going to be a tight match. But...
The return of Chris Harris.
Of course I have to go for a Birmingham win.
You don't have to.
I do.
Go on then.
Oh, God, I'm so sorry about that. Birmingham by 6.
Okay, I've gone Berwick by 4.
Simon and Spuddy are so far apart from each other at the moment. I can't see it now. It's disappeared, and so has Chris.
Okay.
I'm sitting there in the dark and I'm thinking...
Oh, okay.
So what are you going for Birmingham, Berwick?
Right, so I'll go for Berwick by... 10.
10. Okay, a bit of a difference of opinion in that one then. Ipswich against Kings Lynn is the next one.
That's down to you.
I've gone Ipswich by 8.
I'll go Ipswich by 4. 4.
What's Ipswich?
Ipswich. You something.
I'll go for Ippo by 8.
Well, you're on the same as me then. Right, Cardiff's next one.
Spuddy says there's a reason Simon's first and I'm 14th.
Yeah. Should we do the championship pairs as well?
Yeah,
Yes.
go for it. Yeah, because there aren't many races, are there? So.
Okay, so if you haven't put your championship pairs score on, which is quite likely because I haven't put it on as one of the meetings to do, but
One job.
okay.
We're just going to do who wins, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to go for.
It's your young man over here.
I don't know who's in it, so.
Just,
pick a championship club.
just pick a championship club. Don't put Birmingham.
Oxford.
Okay, I'm going to say Edinburgh.
I'm going to say Leicester.
Okay.
Toying with the idea and going for Paul, but I'll go for Leicester.
Well, Spuddy and Simon Corbett have both gone for Paul, so we'll probably be wrong.
Yep. Okay.
I've no idea where I said Oxford.
It's their home, but it is on their home track, so.
Oh, that's probably why.
Okay, so next up we've got Cardiff, the big one.
Cardiff, and that's down.
Well, I've gone for a 1, 2, 3. So,
okay.
are we gonna? Should we say if you get the winner, 2 points? If you get the 1, 2, 3 right, get more.
3 points, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to go in third place. I'm going to go Zmarzlik. I'm toying with the idea of going Doyley. I know I'm mad.
Some different ones there. I might have to just mix it up with it.
I'm going to say Lambert. I'm just because I'm in 17th place. It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say Waff.
Ty Woffington, British 1, 2 would be great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we've ever had a British 1, 2 in a Grand Prix.
No, I don't think we have. That would be a first.
It's got to happen one day.
Simon Corbett's gone Lambert, Frick and Bewley.
Okay, who's next then, me or
You?
Well, I've gone in third place, Freddie Lindgren. Second place, Bartosz Zmarzlik. And the winner, Leon Madsen.
Interesting.
Okay.
I think he's due a win, Leon Madsen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll go in reverse order. I'll go Bewley, Lambert, Bartik.
I thought you were going to go for a British 1, 2, 3 then. That would be nice, wouldn't it? That would be brilliant.
Spuddy says we can barely have a British 1-2 in British League racing.
That's very true, yeah. So, okay, next up on Monday is Peterborough against Sheffield. So, by the way, best luck to Tom Brennan, of course, riding in the Speedway Nations 2 on the Sunday. First time, obviously, we've had another 21s meeting at Cardiff, so it's going to be...
That'll be cool.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how that place takes to having 2 meetings in weekends as well as to just the obligatory one.
I was just thinking that, actually.
Yep,
But, yeah.
okay.
All right, you'll go.
I've gone Sheffield by 4.
I'll go Sheffield by 8.
I'll go Sheffield by 6, just to be in the middle of you all.
Okay.
Because that's my favourite position. Ugh.
And last but by no means least, we haven't got that many matches this week.
No.
Plymouth against Redcar.
That might be a tasty meeting.
Yeah.
That's up to you, Chris.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll go Redcar by 4.
I'm going to go for a draw.
I knew you'd get one in somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone Plymouth by 8. We've all gone completely different on that one.
Completely, yeah.
Yep. And that's it then. So not many matches this week, so...
Not a lot of catching up that you can do. Although, if you get that result right at Cardiff...
So just a reminder, you get 2 points for the winner, 3 points if you get the 1, 2, 3, but it's got to be in...
That
1, 2,
order.
3.
It's got to be in that
1,
order
2,
that you
3.
said it is, so...
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're getting strict now because it's such a prestigious...
There's a lot at stake. There's a mug
For you, anyway.
and a t-shirt. And the
Or-
prestige
unless
of
you-
being the champion.
Unless you're Simon Corbett, in which case it's another mug.
Yeah. That's right, yeah.
Strangely, that's what they said about you last time.
Exactly, yeah. I might put that actually on it. Is another mug. That'd be great.
Another mug. Interesting to hear Peterborough apparently wanted Lewis Kerr to guest last night at 3 and he said no, although he's never had the best of scores at Monmore. That's probably why he said no.
It's possibly why they ended up with Jordan Jenkins.
Do you think the SGP2 will have it's gone?
Good turnout.
Good turnout on Sunday. Looking forward to seeing the younger riders and Brennan competing. Brennan's got a good chance.
Yeah, I hope it does. I mean, unfortunately, I won't be there because I'm coming straight back after the first meeting. But obviously, for a lot of people, it's going to be difficult, of course, especially if people, of course, had planned to go on the train, of course, because we got more rail strikes on Saturday. So hopefully that doesn't.
Simon Corbett's negotiating now.
I think he's been a bit cheeky there. I have actually got some baseball caps.
He doesn't need a mug. He wants a baseball hat, please.
He wants to get down with the kids.
He actually thinks he's worried, doesn't he? But
yes, he's getting cocky. He's getting cocky. It's still tight to the top.
Spuddy says he reckons Brennan will win that. He's really turned a corner this season. Well, he's turned 4 actually, but come on.
Are there any corners?
Well, there's one.
Yeah, and there's another. I hope he does well. Yeah,
I've got a lot of time for him.
Yeah, again, I mean, Tom Brennan. I think, as I say, Chris Harris was clearly frustrated by the decision in the British final. I think Tom Brennan was as well. In fairness, personally, I thought it should have been one of those two that got the pick. Nothing against Adam Ellis. You know, obviously, I know he won the British final last year, but he won that British final knowing there wasn't going to be a Cardiff Grand Prix. So.
I'm sorry, Spuddy. Yeah, he's disappointed in me.
It was awful.
I think I was as well.
Yeah, as I Duncan said, it's a 1 p.m. start, the SGP2, so hopefully a few people will hang around for that one.
I hope so.
I suppose it makes it all a longer weekend as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So
it's a long time to hang around there.
Yeah. Well, there's plenty to do in the city, so
I love Cardiff.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's a great place.
Really have always loved going there. So,
well, I'm planning on being drunk.
No.
Are you?
It's my birthday.
Oh, is it? Oh, right.
On Saturday. Yeah.
Okay.
But not in Cardiff, I assume. So.
No.
Well, happy birthday.
That didn't happen.
Yeah, you were hoping for.
I was hoping for that, but yeah.
You never know.
I am getting something that will surprise you all.
A bus pass.
No. Wow.
Oh, you thoroughly deserve one, I think.
I was going to say a Cradley jacket then, but you went quiet there, didn't you?
Yeah, because I'm reading somebody say Elliot is definitely going to be there, as he's not going home till Monday. Much cheaper to stay Sunday than Friday evening. Yeah. Apparently Blues are at Cardiff Saturday.
Yes, they are, yeah.
They are, yeah. That's right, yeah. That's going to be interesting. Ooh. And Dylan's just worried about the beer, so he's I dread to think how much the beer will be in the stadium. Used to be a £5 a few years ago, so it'll be about 25 quid now with the prices going up.
Yeah, I hate it when they do that, but
and it's probably horrible beer as well.
I think they do that so you don't drink it. That's.
I don't think it'll put the polls off, let's put it that way.
No.
They do like the...
Craig Smith says, get drunk outside the stadium in the bars. Don't get anything in the stadium overpriced and terrible. Just make sure you don't get too drunk.
And they won't let you in.
Yeah.
Speedway supporters don't get drunk, do they?
Depends on the circumstances, I think.
Did he?
Oh, diddly diddly hoddly diddly diddly hoddly diddly 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 do.
Oh, God. That was worse than mine.
You can tell the end of the season's coming.
No, I can't. Got nothing to talk about now. Just going to talk rubbish for the rest of the shows. As per normal, really. Yeah. So Spuddy's going to be having chippy and cider in front of the telly box.
Chippy and cider?
Chippy and cider.
Common as muck, isn't it?
I'm sure people, obviously I know people enjoy watching it on the telly, but it's, for Cardiff for me, something that you have to experience. You've got to go there to get the full...
Yes, all right.
That's somebody who's been to every single Cardiff since 2000.
It's not a bad price either, is it?
How much is it for a ticket?
I think they start about 20 quid.
Yeah, that's what we've got. Yeah, and
that's pretty. That is decent. That is
on the last bend we are. So that's.
Okay. You're not in the heavens, then you.
No, we're in the middle tier.
Oh, right. That's at least
I'd say
pretty
probably
good.
the only bad view we've had at Cardiff was the one year we were on the bottom tier, and it was just too low. You could only really see the one side of the track. So
Right.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Used to go with Wolves, though, ironically, for a club sponsored by a coach company. They don't use Paris. Hey ho. Right. Well, I think we've come to the end of the
We
show.
certainly have.
Good luck. Enjoy the meeting for those of you that are off to Cardiff. I hope you have a good one. Let's hope for a British winner. Maybe that'll get in the papers. Who knows?
Chris Harris's didn't, I know that.
No, it didn't. Take care, everybody. See you all next week. Have a good one.
Good night.
Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern.